All right, welcome Triton Trojans fans. Andy O'Hara alongside Orion Lemler for the Trojan Sports Network as our Lady Trojans travel here to Bremen to take on the Lions tonight for the Battle of 331. The first time these two teams will face off this season, as Triton comes in 0-3 on the season with losses against John Glenn, Argus, and South Central. As they continue to grow, their week 2 to the second and third game against Argus and South Central. Of course, Argus going down to overtime. Triton had that one well in hand. We saw a lot of high drama, and it kind of fell away there in overtime. Then, of course, in last week against South Central, like I said, going to the quarters, Triton kind of went back and forth, and they lost 46-33. Leading the way in that game was senior Chelsea Johnson and Lexia Hostrawser with 10 and 9 points. And then Faulkner with 8. So they're starting to pass the scoring around. They're finding that second and third scoring option. Things Triton, as we heard Coach Heckaman talk about earlier in the season with our first interview, things they were going to kind of work on is trying to move that ball around. Of course, they were in that motion offense. Very good defensive team when they want to stand tall. These girls are really starting to figure out, kind of find their groove on offense. Just give them time. They have a tough schedule, a very heavy loaded front schedule. Like we talked about going in, of course, the next 3 games after this, they'll host Plymouth Wallacea Northwood right before the tournament, a Northern Lakes Conference home stand for the Lady Trojans. But then now they're going to be facing the Bremen Lions team, 2-0 in the season, beating Tippecanoe and Valley, scoring over 60 points in both of those games. Valley, that came a little bit closer, 62-48, and LaVille, they won 60-26. So this is a very front-loaded team, a very good offensive team. They can get out and go and take off and run. Triton, of course, tonight, their all-time the series in the last 15 years, Bremen leads by 1 game. Triton played them pretty hard in the Bi-County Classic a year ago. A team who Triton plays very, very well, like I said, on the offensive side tonight. They're going to have to stand tall on defense and really start to answer back and forth on offense. They can slow them down and then make the most of their offensive possessions tonight, and things could get real interesting. Leading the way for the Trojans as far as the offensive goes per game, you'll see, you want to see that kind of that workload down the post by Chelsea Johnson. Of course, Faulkner with her 7 points in the couple games she's played. She's kind of starting to figure it out, but Whytnie Miller, can't count her out. She's a leader of this team. She's very talented, very good defender. Delanie Groves, can't forget the sharp shooting from her. Then coming on as of late is Lexia Hostrawser, scoring all sorts of points. She's averaging 4.6 a game, but 14 points in all her contests. So we saw her go off against Argus and then turns around and does it again against South Central. She's a very integral part of this team coming off the bench there. This sophomore could be heavily leaned upon tonight. Also tonight, dressing for her first game tonight, is Alyxa Viers. She hasn't seen any minutes at all this season, and this is where she'll make her 2018-19 debut for the Lady Trojans. And of course, Alyxa, a junior, getting banged up earlier this season. So we get to see her first minutes, but Triton's going to have an uphill battle tonight against Bremen. A game they're going to kind of have. This is a game they're going to kind of have to try to come out on top in or really compete well in this one, because they're going to have a tough homestand starting on Thursday night as they host Plymouth. For Coach Adam Heckaman, in search of that 118th career win in his 11th year at Triton. Of course, Alex Robinson, 30-21, his 3rd season at Bremen. Bremen is favored tonight by a very large margin, and like I said, they won by a narrow margin back in earlier this year by 6 points in the Bi-County Classic. Triton and Bremen for the battle for the 331 is what we'll be seeing here coming up tonight. Things you kind of keep an eye on is the motion offense, but like I said, Triton is finding those different scoring options. They're getting more aggressive on both sides of the basketball. It's kind of the one thing you watch. They have improved quite a bit as the season since that first game against John Glenn. The team that kind of came out and aggressive, and that kind of may have woken a sleeping giant. Triton, yeah, they're young, but yet this team has got a lot of very talented players, can do a lot of good things on both sides of the basketball. These ladies are just scratching the surface of what they're capable of. Like I said, as the season goes on and playing against Hoosier North Athletic Conference games, these girls are going to be a tough out. They're not going to make it very easy on them tonight, make them very easy on them as the season goes on. So we'll get ready to announce the starting lineups for both teams here tonight. Once the final minute gets ready to go here. Of course, tune in Thursday night as we'll be hosting Plymouth for that broadcast. Shouldn't have any internet problems for that one. Hopefully. Just saying. So earlier tonight, we watched the JV win their game. That's on one of the other pages. The JV won their game tonight, 32-27, leading the way. All scorers was Madeline Doll. Jaelyn Bules had 6. Taren Yates had 6. Lexia Hostrawser had 5. 4 points for Jolie Groves, and Abbey Viers added 3 to her scoring margin. So the girls played very well. So we'll hang on here and we'll let
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand and face the fighters to honor America with the singing of our national anthem, performed by Kaelyn Shively. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who trod stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, words of gallantry sweeping, and ringing through the dark singing, getting through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, take us that star-spangled banner wave, for the land of the free and the home of
So now we'll await the starting lineups for tonight's ball game here as Triton visits Bremen for their last road game for a while.
We will introduce our visitors from Triton. First tonight starter, number 12, Jessica Soriano. Number 20, Jaelyn Bules. Number 22, Hepler. Number 24, Abbey Viers. And number 24, Alyxa Viers. And now the starters for the Fighting Trojans, number 4, Jaela Faulkner. Number 10, Delanie Groves. Number 14, Whytnie Miller. Number 32, Lexia Hostrawser. And number 40, Triton Thompson. The Trojans are coached by Adam Heckaman, assisted by Paige Miller.
So starting lineup for Triton tonight, they're going to insert some different looks here tonight. Jaela Faulkner, of course, in the starting 5. Delanie Groves, the senior, the sharpshooter, is going to be playing some here starting tonight. Whytnie Miller, Lexia Hostrawser, the juniors making an appearance, and Chelsea Johnson rounding out the 5 for our Lady Trojans tonight as they'll get ready to face off. That starting 5, a lot of talent there in that starting 5. Of course, Hostrawser kind of coming on, Chelsea Johnson anchoring down the post, but Delanie Groves don't counter out. Sharpshooter extraordinaire. Jaela Faulkner does a good job kind of handling the point. And of course, Whytnie Miller, kind of that Swiss Army knife. There's a lot of things she does, and she does them well.
Number 22, Haylie Rodriguez. And number 24, Karlee Feldman.
So starting lineup for the Bremen Lions, number 10, Kaelyn Shively, number 20, Dellenira Duran, 21, Erin Coffel, 22, Haylie Rodriguez, and number 4, senior Karlee Feldman. 2 seniors in their starting lineup as well for the Bremen Lions. Of course, they're going to be in their home whites with green letters and striping down the side. And Triton, of course, in their away blue uniforms, white or gold numbers outlined in white as they get ready to take off for this one. Tipping will be Chelsea Johnson going against Feldman. The seniors are going to battle here. That'll be an interesting matchup down in the post. These two kind of fought hard against each other in the Bi-County Classic. Feldman, a very talented post player. Of course, Johnson, we know what she can do. And here we go. Tip is up, and ball is going to belong to Bremen. And Rodriguez is going to come away with it. She's going to set it up top the key. On over here to Coffel. Back on over here to Shively. Back to Coffel. Rodriguez are kind of working the ball around the top of the key. Rodriguez back at the top, looking over here to Shively. Tries to drop it into Feldman. Feldman's going to try to dribble, kicks it back out. Picked up by Coffel. Blocked by Chelsea Johnson. Johnson sends it the other direction for her first block of tonight. As Duran tried to shoot it there. Johnson, of course, showing off that length and athleticism and blocks it away. Coffel inbound on over to Rodriguez. She'll work on the right wing. Works it back here as they work back to Coffel. She's directing traffic now, top the key. Tries to dribble through this Triton zone defense being put on, looking very tough. Shively. Coffel's going to be alone for three. She's going to put it up. She found it. Erin Coffel with the first points tonight come from three-point land. Faulkner now bringing up past the timeline. She's going to get put in the trap defense there off the foot of Rodriguez. Triton, of course, working left to right. Faulkner will inbound for the Trojans. Inbound, Whytnie Miller gets it. She's going to set it up. The junior is going to work here. The trap and this kind of zone defense being put up, being kind of aggressive as the Lions are not giving them much room to kind of maneuver. Delanie Groves gets after a tip pass back over to Whytnie Miller on left wing. She worked back here to the middle of the top of the key. Faulkner loses it for a second, picks it back up, back on over to Whytnie Miller. She dribbles it away, and Rodriguez tries to come away with it, tries to pop it away, and Faulkner regains possession, picks up her dribble, got to help her out, finds Hostrawser. Rodriguez comes flying in there at the end, trying to reset again on offense. Bremen's defense really stifling against here in the early going. Triton trails by three. Whytnie Miller now is going to work it back over to Faulkner. And that coach Adam Heckaman is going to call a timeout, not liking what he sees from his offense. Bremen, of course, coming out with that aggressive defense. It's really kind of giving a look. It's kind of like a, as they're kind of making them out, they're kind of trapping them a little bit with that zone defense. Of course, they're kind of not, they're taking away that three-point line, really working them back towards the half court, back towards half court. So that's one thing for Triton. They try to work the ball around the perimeter very well. But when you kind of push your defenders out there like that, it makes things a lot more difficult for these girls to kind of work the ball down to where they need to get in that mid-range game and try to work it down to the post, which is what they're trying to do.
You want me to move this? So you
I got to adjust it here in a second.
Okay.
All right, timeout resumes, and Jaela Faulkner will inbound for the Lady Trojans. Trying to work it past there as Coffel and Rodriguez is going to really defend up past the perimeter, kind of try to force some action here by the Trojans. Whytnie Miller picks up a dribble, trying to get Faulkner freed up. She gets freed up for a moment. Coffel playing some stifling defense up top there. Tries to go up over to Hostrawser. In the corner, Delanie Groves. Cross court, too high for Whytnie Miller and throws it away. Right idea by Delanie Groves, just a little too high. And Coffel inbound for the Lions. Rodriguez now bringing up past the half-court line. They're going to reset as they work right to left. Cross go over here by the Coffel. Quick hitter down to Feldman to top the key. Going to give it down low to, and Duran's going to lose it there. And Triton will take back over. Good defensive stand by the Lady Trojans, kind of throwing her off there. Jaelyn Faulkner now is going to bring it up past, try to work it past half-court line. And here comes that defense. They're trying to press them up there. We're trying to crown that trap defense. Now they're working in Hostrawser for a baseline jumper. Too strong. Rebound. Coffel and Johnson go together, and it's going to be a jump ball. Triton will hang on to it. I remember watching these ladies play in the Bi-County Classic against one another. That Coffel, as a junior, she was a very aggressive ball player. As a sophomore, she's very aggressive, and now she's real aggressive as a junior. Whytnie Miller gets it down inside the baseline from there. Inbound, and Feldman will just take it away. Feldman now working it past the half-court line, gives it over to Rodriguez. Coffel now tries to drop it into Feldman. Quick hitter over here to Shively. Shively now is going to try to dribble in, and she's going to pick it up. Travels it. She started to go up, and she kind of backed herself off and traveled there. So turnover for Bremen. Triton regains possession. Faulkner received the inbound. On over to Whytnie Miller. They're going to try to set this motion offense up, try to see if they can do something against this zone. A lot of pressure being put on here. Groves has got to dribble with it. Tries to go to Chelsea Johnson, tipped away by Shively, and Groves tries to regain it. Loses it going on the outside. Right idea. Delanie kind of had an open look there. This defense by Alex Robinson's Bremen Lions is really throwing off the Trojan offense. 5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Bremen leads by 3. Rodriguez now back on the right wing. Going to work it back to the middle. Hand off to Coffel. Feldman, she's going to try a 3 at the top of the key. High bank off the shot. The glass, no good. And Feldman knocks her own player over. Coffel now's going to dribble and try to go up the lane. Try to pop blocked with the pressure by Johnson. And now they're going to get, I believe, a foul or stepped on the, and we'll get outbound Hostrawser. That's the first Triton foul of the night. First foul of the evening for both teams. And Shively will inbound for the Lions. Drops it into Feldman. Back on top to Coffel. She'll reset. Shively now on the right wing. Back on top to Duran. Rodriguez now. Shively's going to try to see what she can work. Picks up a dribble. Finds Feldman at the foul line. Kicks it over to Coffel. Quick hitter under to Shively. She wanted that 3. Drops it down to Duran. Duran is going to go in. They're going to get a foul on Triton. Looked like Chelsea Johnson may have got all ball there from this angle. So that's going to be on Jaela Faulkner on the shot. So that's going to send Duran, the junior, to the line for 2. First free throw chance for her is a high one, and it's off the front of the rim. No good. Duran's second shot is up. Back iron too strong. Rebound Whytnie Miller. So another empty trip for Bremen. Triton's got to capitalize here soon on one of these possessions. Miller now's going to work. Quicks over. Nope. Coffel steps away from it. Coffel anticipates. She's going to take it, go coast to coast, and foul by Whytnie Miller. Coffel kind of anticipated that one there. Kind of read them. Like you said, very aggressive ball player. She's a very good backcourt defender. She shows that off right there. Her first free throw attempt is up. Finds the bottom. Foster will check in now for Duran. Foster, a 5'7" freshman. Koffel's second shot is up. Backspin's good. It's down. Triton trails 5-0 now here in the early, about the midway point of the first quarter. Faulkner picks up a dribble back to Delanie Groves. She's going to try a 3. The sharpshooter's up on high. 2, just not enough off the glass. She regains own possession on the rebound. We're going to get a foul. Going to get a push on Shively. That'll be her first personal, team's first of the night. 3:53 here in the first period. Andy O'Hara alongside Orion Lemler for the Trojan Sports Network. As Delanie Groves will inbound it. She's got to find somebody here, running out of time. Tries to drop into Whytnie Miller, does, tipped by Rodriguez. Now Faulkner with the ball on top of the key. Onward to Delanie Groves. Bremen's zone defense now as they drop Coffel back down. As Groves picks it up, she's going to try to dribble against Feldman. Height mismatch there. Pulled away by Foster. Foster now is going to work up the left side. Loses it. Faulkner picks it up. Jaela Faulkner's going to go with a 1-on-2 fast break. She's going to try to find her way in and finds it. Jaela Faulkner takes it in herself. There's Triton's first points tonight. 5-2 is our score. Rodriguez now at the basketball is going to work herself, trying to get the offense set up. Foster here on the left wing. Tries to drop it into Feldman at the free throw line. Quick hit over to Shively. Shively's going to drive. Pick up her dribble. Back on her to Rodriguez. She's going to try a 3 of her own. Back iron too strong. Rebound Feldman. Feldman goes up for 2. Rebound and basket by Karlee Feldman. Her first points. The senior's on the board. 7-2 is our score. Faulkner now back on over to Delanie Groves. Faulkner now, this trap defense. Delanie Groves is going to try another 3. Too strong. Don't leave her alone too long. She'll eventually figure that one out. She's a sharp shooter, and we know she can drop them. Coffel now at the basketball is going to drive. Quick hitter on over to Rodriguez. Shively's going to try a 3. Finds it. This Bremen Lions offense is starting to take off. 10-2 is our score. Faulkner and Coach Adam Heckaman's going to take a timeout there. 2 3-pointers by the Bremen Lions. Don't forget, and Karlee Feldman and Coffel starting to really pull away here in the 2-2. Trying to figure out something on offense. Delanie Groves has had a couple really good looks at three. They kind of separate. She's kind of get herself set. She's trying to dribble into her shot. No good there. So Triton here at Bremen so far, of 2:29 remaining in the opening period, they trail by 8. Of course, tune in Thursday night as Triton will host Plymouth for our second home game of the season?
Yeah.
Yeah, I figured it wouldn't have too many of those. So this will be the last of a 3-game road trip. And we'll have a long homestand, of course, and we'll have our tournament on November 24th there at Triton. So the girls got an uphill battle here. Of course, that high-powered offense, as Bremen in the first 2 games has scored over 60 points in both of their games, 2-0 on the season. Triton is going to have to slow them down on defense, but their offense is going to have to capitalize and try to make some smart moves on offense and see what they can do to fix it. On the floor for Bremen, Rodriguez, Foster, Coffel, and the 2 seniors, Shively and Feldman. On the court for our Trojans, Hostrawser, Faulkner, who's inbounding, Chelsea Johnson, Whytnie Miller, and Delanie Groves rounding out the 5 for the Lady Trojans. Whytnie Miller gets the inbound, gives it back to Faulkner. They're going to reset here. Jaela Faulkner's going to try to split those 2 defenders. Can't split them. Picks up her dribble, trying to get rid of somebody. Finds Delanie Groves over here to the right side. She's going to drive with it. Picks up her dribble. Back to Whytnie Miller. Whytnie Miller now is going to work here on the right side. Trying to dribble out of trouble there. Finds Delanie Groves. Back on top to Faulkner. Quick hitter to Hostrawser. Hostrawser drops down to Whytnie Miller. Delanie Groves open for 3. He's going to try it. Too strong. Good look. Shively now is going to try to push on the fast break. Finds Foster. Foster with the head fake. Goes up and blocked away by Chelsea Johnson. Chelsea Johnson has been very active on the defensive side of things. You don't get too many open looks with her down there in the post. Shively inbounds over to Rodriguez in the left corner. She tries to go back over. Foster's going to try a 3. She's left on a little bit. Too strong back iron. Rebound. Chelsea Johnson only over in the back fall on Feldman. That'll be her first personal, team second. So Alyxa Viers will check in for Delanie Groves, and Duran's going to check in for Feldman. There's a little confusion. There's a little confusion there with the officiating staff and the players, as Hostrawser unmounted for Faulkner, as Bremen's going to try to put on a little bit of a press and try to pressure Triton to get rid of a turnover. Hostrawser's got to get past the timeline. Viers now with it. Throws it right into Coffel. Coffel will try to save it and steps on the line trying to save it. Trying to regain possession. Hostrawser will inbound. Finds Faulkner. 1.5 minutes remaining here in the opening period. Faulkner's going to get met by half court by Foster. Run over to Whytnie Miller. Miller's going to drive. Finds Johnson in the corner. She's going to try a baseline deep 2. Too strong. Hostrawser overshot the rebound, and she's going to try to save it, and she does. Hostrawser showing off that length and athleticism, gets around, slaps the ball. It goes off Rodriguez and trying to regain possession. Chelsea Johnson with the out at the deep 2. Had a good look, went for it. Trying to put points up on the board as they trail by 8 here in the waning moments of the first period. Whytnie Miller now is going to get met by 2 defenders out on the out. She crosses the half-court line, picks up her dribble, finds her to Jaela Faulkner. Faulkner's going to try to go across court to Hostrawser. Hostrawser pulls it down. Back to Whytnie Miller, tipped away by Rodriguez. Ball still alive. Foster comes away with it. They're going to have a 3-on-2 fast break. Foster now working the left side. Tipped away by Faulkner. Took it away by Viers. Alyxa Viers takes it away now, and Triton will force a turnover there. That's one thing this defense has done very well. And it's going to answer on the offensive side now. Viers at the foul line now. Is going to work it past over here to Chelsea Johnson. Hostrawser back over to Faulkner. Back on top to Whytnie Miller on the left wing. She's going to try to drive left side. Stops, works back up top. Faulkner gets it. Faulkner's trying to penetrate here. Just going to be tipped away. Rodriguez saves it. Foster's going to go one-on-one with behind the back dribble there. Tries to go up the left hand and going to get fouled by Hostrawser. Good move by Foster. to draw Hostrawser for the foul. Lexia Hostrawser with her second personal foul. Team's fourth of the first half. On the floor for Bremen, we have Duran, Shively, Coffel, Rodriguez, and shooting the free throw is Foster. On the floor for our Lady Trojan, we got Hostrawser, Faulkner, Johnson, Viers, and Whytnie Miller rounding out the 5 for them. First free throw for Foster is good. So Bailey Vermillion will check in now for the Lions. Shot by Foster's up, goes in. Foster's second free throw is good. They Triton trails by 10. Faulkner's trying to dribble through. And she's trying to get around the corner by Coffel. And Triton will turn it over. Coffel is a very aggressive defender, but she's a very tough defender. She really kind of forced to use that baseline as another defender and force Faulkner out. Triton going to try to go with a little bit different look on defense. They're going to call a foul on Jaela Faulkner. That's her second personal, team fifth. Shively will inbound. 29.5 remaining. Coffel on over to Foster. She's going to try to dribble drive, goes up the lane, goes up strong, no good. Rebound, Hostrawser takes it away. Whytnie Miller now 20 seconds remaining. Triton might hold for the final shot here. Faulkner's going to try to work it in. Triton's got to find a way to penetrate this defense. Faulkner tries to dribble away, trying to force him around a little bit. Whytnie Miller now. Faulkner's going to try to go through, kind of almost carries it there. Tries to go it across. We're going to get a kick on Bremen. It'll stay here with Triton with 3.8 here in the opening period. Triton's going to have to force up a good shot here. You got to look here for Whytnie Miller or Hostrawser to get freed up to get a good look. So they're going to start moving. Finds Johnson across the middle. Johnson puts it on the ground, goes up. Oh, too strong in the left iron. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Triton trails 12-2 here. All right, as we get ready to get the second quarter underway, Triton trails here 12-2, leading the way for Triton, and the only field goal coming from a Jaela Faulkner lane as she kind of took it on the fast break there. And, of course, Bremen leading the way for them is Erin Coffel with a 3 and 2 free throws. Now 3 ball by Kaelyn Shively with 3 of her own, and then, of course, the 2 points is Foster and Karlee Feldman. That'll bring our score 12-2. We'll see what Triton does here in the second quarter. Adam Heckaman's girls have got to find a way to penetrate. This defense is kind of coming out, so he's going to go a little more speed. Taren Yates and Emma Hepler come out. We'll see what those two girls can do against this tough Bremen defense. On the floor for Bremen, we got Coffel, Vermillion, Duran, Shively, and Foster. On the floor for Triton, we got Viers, Johnson, Hepler, Yates, and Whytnie Miller rounding up the 5 for them. Coffel now with the basketball. Cross court on over to Shively. Shively's going to try to go. Triton tries to go with the defense. Hepler falls down. Foster now tries to go in. Chelsea Johnson steps in the way and takes it away. Whytnie Miller now got to capitalize on that turnover. Triton's forced a few of them. They just need to capitalize on those. Taren Yates now tries to work it back to Whytnie Miller. Foster jumps in the way of it, and Foster's going to go all the way in for a lane for 2. So Foster, 2 of her own. 14-2 is our score. Whytnie Miller now past the half-court line. Is going to try to force it herself. Stops. Mid-range jumper. Too strong back iron. Rebound Coffel. Coffel picks it up. She's going to try to push it here. They got a 3-on-3 fast break. Foster tries to pick it up, jumps and shot. Stops and tries to put a jumper. Coffel now top the key. Vermillion up fake. On over to Coffel. She's going to try a 3, a little bit contested there. Strong rebound. Chelsea Johnson. Emma Hepler now with the basketball. We'll see what Whytnie Miller can do here. Bremen kind of laying off that press defense. Really forced them here in the half court. Taren Yates. Down into Alyxa Viers. Viers is going to try to go up for 2. Right idea, too strong. Coffel now is going to go on the 1-on-2 fast break. She's going to take it and try to draw a foul. Nope. She shoots it. Good defense by Triton. They're going to get a push. Might be on Alyxa Viers. That'll be her first personal, team 7th. Or 6th. So Shively inbound now for the Lions. 6:42 remaining here in the first half. Shively looking deep for Foster and finds her outside the 3-point line. Foster quick hit over to Shively, gets her back in the corner for 3. Got it. Kaelyn Shively with her second 3-ball of the night extends this Bremen lead. Whytnie Miller on over to Hepler. Hepler's going to try to drive, and she's going to go. We're going to get a foul on Shively again. Going to call a reach on her. It's her second personal, team's third. And Feldman now check in for Shively. A little bit of size between her and Duran down low. Has Whytnie Miller inbound for the Trojans. Looking for Yates, trying to look deep. Got to keep moving. Yates now at the basketball. Back on over to Whytnie Miller. She's going to try to drive the baseline. Closely guarded, picks up her dribble. Throws it, kind of gets tipped away by Vermillion. Taren Yates now, the freshman's got it. Finds Emma Hepler, down to Chelsea Johnson. Jumper for Chelsea, found it. Chelsea Johnson with a good mid-range jumper of her own. Triton now scores again. Second field goal of the night for them. Coffel now will get the ball past the half-court line. Closely guarded by this 2-3 zone. Feldman, hard, heavy pass down into Duran. It'll be a jump ball. It might belong here to Bremen, and it does. So Coffel inbound now. Throws it on up to Feldman. Feldman inside the three-point line is going to drive with the up fake. Duran with it. Vermillion going to work on the left wing. They're going to kind of work it around. Coffel's going to try to drive. He sends Yates to the ground, but Coffel will try a three and get it. Coffel looked like she might have pushed off there, but Yates tried to draw the foul, no good. They go up now 20-4. Johnson now is going to try to go, and she's going to get fouled. That'll be on Bailey Vermillion. That's going to be her first personal, team's fourth. And Emma Hepler will inbound. As we try to sort out what's going on here. So they got that all sorted out. Hepler now inbound for the Trojans. Tries to find Chelsea Johnson off the foot of Feldman. Coach Adam Heckaman barking out the play from his sideline. From the bench, rather. I guess this isn't football. Hepler now at the basketball. Tries to work it out. Finds Viers. Viers tries to go off the foot. It's going to be off the foot of Coffel. Trying to hang on to it. 5:23 remaining here in the second quarter. Andy O'Hara alongside Orion Lemler for the Triton Trojan Sports Network here at Bremen High School. And Rodriguez is going to check in for Coffel. She's going to get a break. Bremen's leading scorer is going to go to the bench now. Leading scorer of the night, rather. As Hepler will inbound it. Frees up Whytnie Miller. Rodriguez and Foster, a lot of speed there in that front, in that back court. Whytnie Miller's trying to work it around, finds Yates, down to Viers. Viers is alone by herself, goes with the up fake. Ball is tipped away by Bremen. Rodriguez now at the basketball is going to try to dribble. She's going to kind of slow it down, resets. Looking for Vermillion on the corner to Foster with the pump fake not there. Finds Duran under the basket, no good. Rebound goes to Viers. Whytnie Miller's going to try to semi-push the ball down the court. Stops, mid-range jumper for her, got it. Whytnie Miller with her first field goal tonight. That's one thing she's very good at. That mid-range game is kind of a very good thing to watch her do, and she does it well. Zone defense by Triton, see if they can kind of force a turnover here as Foster's baseline jumper's up. It's good. 22-6 our score here at Bremen. Triton trails. Yates with the basketball, gives them back on top to Whytnie Miller. Miller's going to try to split the defenders, pulls away from Yates. Yates puts the ball down, picks it back up on to Miller. Hepler now about the free throw line. Yates. Whytnie Miller's going to try to drive, mid-range jumper for her. Right idea, just off the mark. Rodriguez now is going to push it here as they got some numbers. It's overthrows Foster. Foster looked up to it early. Shively, the senior, will check in for Foster, so she'll sit down. Shively will come back in with her 2 fouls. As Whytnie Miller will get ready to bring the ball past the timeline for the Trojans. Whytnie Miller's really been trying to get that dribble drive action going. Viers now finds Hepler. Hepler's going to try to drive. Goes up strong, and she's going to get fouled on the way up. And she'll go line for 2. Couple Lions in the vicinity for that foul, and that's going to go on Duran. as her first personal foul. And Bremen will take a timeout before Hepler gets a chance to attempt her free throws. So 22-6 is our score. One thing to keep an eye on, Triton's done a very good job on the defensive side of the basketball. They just haven't had a lot of opportunities on offense to really get back up there and get some shots more attempted. Like I said, Bremen is a tough team. 62-48 over Valley, a pretty good team in Tippecanoe Valley down there, and 60-26 over LaVille. So this team can score well, plus they're very talented on defense. And that's showing here as Triton not favored to win in this one. Double-digit prediction in Bremen's favor according to John Harrell. Be interested to see what Triton can do to get players freed up here. I mean, you got Emma Hepler. She can do some pretty good things. Yates can do some things with the basketball. But Whytnie Miller, that dribbling in, been pulling that pull-up jumper, has really kind of worked there for her. And Viers is kind of patrolling down there with Chelsea Johnson. They can just get it down there to them. Of course, you got to worry about Feldman. And this Bremen team is very physical. Hepler now will get ready to attempt her 2 free throws. Sophomore's first shot is up. Finds the bottom. Emma Hepler with her first points of the night. Hepler's second shot is up. Rattles in. Vermillion will inbound. Finds Rodriguez. 3:45 remaining here in the second quarter. Rodriguez picks up her dribble on over to Shively. Shively works it. They're trying to drop it into Feldman. Feldman drives, finds Duran in the corner. Vermillion cross court over to Shively. Shively stops on the elbow. Looked like she elbowed Viers in the face. Viers got popped and Bremen throws it away. Alyxa Viers, I got an elbow there. Here comes Yates with the basketball. She'll run the point. Hepler picks up, hangs onto her dribble, cross over to Yates. Miller now with the basketball on the left wing. Tries to get Yates. They're trying to work the ball into Chelsea Johnson. She just can't get freed up. Hepler finds Miller. Whytnie Miller's going to try to pick up the elbow. Gets back to Hepler. Hepler's alone for 3. Got it! Emma Hepler for 3. Triton's first 3 ball of the night. Now they're on double digits. Trailing by 11 here on the inside. 3 minutes remaining here in the second period. Feldman. Rodriguez for 3. Answers one of her own. Haylie Rodriguez with her first 3 ball of the night. As Hepler will bring it past the half-court line. Quick hit over to Yates. Just out the outstretched arm of Coffel. Whytnie Miller for a 3 of her own. Got it! Whytnie Miller for 5 points on the night. Triton trails 25-14. Triton needs to stop here to kind of answer back as Shively gets it. That zone defense by Triton trying to work it in. Feldman. Guarded by Johnson. She's going to try to walk with it, and she'll go up and foul by Triton. Chelsea Johnson wasn't going to make it easy for her there. Great defense by her, but Feldman's a pretty good free throw shooter, and she'll go to the line for 2. At least if I remember right, she's a good free throw shooter. Now look good so far. Her first free throw is in, and now they lead 26-14. Of course, they're in the 1-and-1 bonus now. Triton's got 17 fouls, and both dropped for Feldman. Whytnie Miller now getting ready to go against this press defense being put on by Bremen. Got to put the ball on the ground. Hepler cross court over here to Yates. Yates finds Johnson, tries to look for it. Oh, tipped away by Coffel at the last moment. Feldman's going to bring it past half-court line, drops it for Rodriguez. Triton needs a big stop here. Yates is going to go out and try to force Rodriguez to move the ball. Finds Feldman. She's going to try to fake the throw. Tries to drop it on over. Shively here now. Steps back in. Goes over to Rodriguez. Shively's going to try a corner 3. Got it. Shively with her third 3 ball of the night. The senior, 9 points in the evening for her. Hepler tries to get it past Coffel. Whytnie Miller now is going to drive. Mid-range jumper her own. Too strong, right idea. Shively now is going to try to dribble it away on the fast break now. 1.5 minutes remaining. Over on to Coffel. Coffel finds Feldman. Feldman spins around, finds it. Banks open for Feldman. with her second field goal of the night. 6 points for her. Coffel now with some pressure on Whytnie Miller. Miller's trying to get away from her, finds Hepler. Hepler's going to get trapped here in the corner. She finds her way out of trouble. Finds Johnson. Johnson picks it back up. Whytnie Miller alone for three. Got it! Whytnie Miller for her second three ball of the night. 32-17 is our score inside a minute remaining here in the first half. Rodriguez to Coffel. Down to Feldman atop the post. Finds Duran. Duran with a deep two of her own. Real strong. Finds well over the net. And it'll go out on Feldman. Ball belonged to Triton as Vermillion will check in for Duran. Duran tried a deep two. Off the mark there, trying to regain. So now the press being put on by Rodriguez and Coffel, two very quick, sure-handed players. Triton's got to work the ball past half-court line. Just got to put the ball on the ground and go. Whytnie Miller finds Viers. Viers is going to try to get it across. Just gets across to Hepler. End the corner to Johnson. Johnson with the deep two of her own, too strong. Vermillion comes away with it. 30 seconds remaining now. Vermillion back over to Coffel. Koffel's going to slow it down. They might hold for the final shot here in the first half. Yates is going to try to go out and try to force her here. Rodriguez finds Shively in the corner for three. She's hit three, and now there's four. Shively now with 4 3-pointers tonight, 12 points, leading all scores. Whytnie Miller now at the basketball, gets it on the run. She stops, picks up a drill, tries dropping it into Johnson. Johnson gets it taken away by Shively, and Shively will all go out of bounds. Trying to get it with 1.4 remaining here. Trying to have a chance for a desperation heave as they trail 35-17 here at Bremen. And eventually get the basketball. Not many people are there to stop it from toss it back into action. So Hepler will inbound. Got to look for Whytnie Miller to get a shot here to kind of throw it up. Whytnie Miller's going to heave it at half court. It's going to be shy. And that's going to bring us to our halftime score of 35-16. All right, Trojan fans, here's we are with our first half stats for the Bremen Lions leading 35-16. Leading all scorers there on the way there is Kaelyn Shively. All 12 of her points come from beyond the arc. 8 points for Erin Coffel with 2 3-pointers of her own tonight. Ellia Foster with 6 points. Karlee Feldman with 6 of her own, and Haylie Rodriguez with 3. Leading the way for our Lady Trojans is Whytnie Miller with 8 points, Emma Hepler with 5, and Jaela Faulkner and Chelsea Johnson with 2 points each. So that'll bring us to halftime. We'll see what Adam Heckaman has in store for us in the second half. We'll be right back on the Triton Trojans Sports Network. All right, after that quick edited break by Orion, after this gets redone, that halftime with a quick breather. As the Lady Trojans trail here at Bremen 35-16 as they get ready to get the second half underway. Triton was starting to kind of find their groove there on offense there in a couple spots. They started looking really good, hitting some 3 balls from Emma Hepler and Whytnie Miller, and then Whytnie Miller was starting to put the ball on the floor and just driving in, trying to split the defenders. Trying to split the defenders and try to shoot that mid-range jumper, which she does very well, especially on the run. She does a real good job shooting that basketball. And don't forget Delanie Groves and Hostrawser. They haven't got on the board yet, but give it time. Those two will find their way into the scorers column. Whytnie Miller inbound. They're going to try to set up a way to kind of give some space for some players to get free. Lexia Hostrawser turns back to Whytnie Miller, and now we're underway. Miller now is going to try to dribble away from Shively. Shively kind of switching out, trying to guard on. They're going to run a little more of a man-to-man defense. Whytnie Miller now against Shively. Trying to get someone to free up. Finds Johnson. She's kind of circling around there. Finds Hostrawser. Then in the corner now to Jaela Faulkner. She's going to try to drive the baseline. Going to get pushed away by Duran. She kind of comes in with the body and shoves her away. Duran now with her second personal foul of the game, the first foul of the second half for them. Delanie Groves, the senior, will inbound for the Trojans. Drops in and tries to drop just on. Coffel now is going to be all alone on the fast break. Whytnie Miller tries to run her down, can't get her there. Coffel now with the first points of the second half. Coffel 10 points on the night for her. The press being put on by Triton. Whytnie Miller's trying to dribble out of trouble. Back to Hostrawser. Hostrawser finds Faulkner. Faulkner now is going to try to get past the half-court line. Tries to dribble away from trouble. Stops on over to Miller. Whytnie now is going to try to drive. Loses the basketball on the way through. He's going to get a foul on Bremen. Triton will regain possession. And that's going to be on Rodriguez as she with the reach there. Her first personal of the night. Delanie Groves will try to inbound. They're trying to get Chelsea Johnson freed up down low. Chelsea Johnson's going to try to dribble there. She has a little bit of size matchup. Faulkner now back with guard by Rodriguez. Miller over to Delanie Groves. Delanie Groves spots up for three. Found it. Like I said, give her time. Delanie Groves will find a way to put it in, and she does there for her first three ball of the night. Triton trails 37-19 now. Shively back going over to Coffel. She's going to leave for Rodriguez. Triton put on his zone as Coffel tries a three from the left wing, just short. Feldman with the follow-up for her. 2 more points for her, 8 points for her tonight. Hostrawser trying to get someone freed up, finds Whytnie Miller. Whytnie Miller goes cutting across her, looking for Johnson. Johnson's going to try to kind of stop and lost the basketball there for a moment. Cross court on over to Shively. Shively's going to try to reset. Delanie Groves trying to close in on her there. Finds Rodriguez. Coffel drops it in and tries to go up against Feldman, and Johnson will draw the foul. And Chelsea Johnson's second team foul, team's first of the half. Feldman the line for her third attempt, rattles out. 2 for 3 on the night for her. And Chelsea Johnson will check out as Alyxa Viers will check in for her. Feldman now get ready to attempt her second attempt. It's up, finds the way in. 3 of 4 for her tonight. Faulkner's going to try to dribble out of trouble. She gets trapped by 3 defenders. Tries to go over to Whytnie Miller, out of the reach of Rodriguez. And Triton's going to try to go away. They're going to get a hold. That's going to be on Erin Coffel. That'll be her first personal of the game. Team's third. Bremen with 3 quick fouls here in the first 2 minutes of the third quarter. And Whytnie Miller received the inbound from Faulkner. Just out of the outstretched hands of Coffel. Faulkner will drive. And we're going to get a foul. The aggressive defense by Bremen. Triton. Duran now with 3 fouls. Triton's really starting to use that aggressive defense by Bremen, starting to kind of hurt him here in the early goings of the second half. Drops it down to Whytnie Miller from Groves. Hostrawser's alone over there on the 3-point line. Shively not keeping an eye on her. Whytnie Miller now with the basketball. She's going to try to drive. Picks up her dribble, finds her to Hostrawser here on the left side. Finds Faulkner. Faulkner finds Miller at the foul line. She's going to drive, finds Hostrawser. Hostrawser the up fake. Drops it back to Faulkner. And the ball's going to go off the foot of Rodriguez. One thing I'll say, especially watching the JV game, they get their foot on the ball quite frequently. Duran will come out and Foster will check in. What they lost in size there, they gained in speed. Faulkner inbounds to Whytnie Miller. Back to her, they're going to reset. Faulkner picks up a dribble, has to get rid of it now, trying to find somebody, finds Delanie Groves on the right side. Faulkner will get it back up top. She's going to trying to find Viers, works away. Coffel will tip away, and it'll go out on her, and they'll regain. On the floor for Bremen, we have Rodriguez, Coffel, Foster, Feldman, and Shively. The seniors are anchoring it there for them. Faulkner, Hostrawser, Miller, Viers, and Delanie Groves on the floor for the Lady Trojans. Faulkner now on over to Delanie Groves. Groves back on top to Faulkner. Tries to drop to Hostrawser, too strong, and Shively taps it away. Foster out the ball and slows it down after she gets past the half-court line. Finds Shively. Shively with 4 3-balls on the night. Finds Rodriguez. Rodriguez stops on the baseline, tries to find a way back out, finds Coffel. Coffel drops it in to Feldman. Feldman still gets a hold of it and finds a way in. At 6'1", she uses that size very well down in the post. Whytnie Miller trying to bark out what she wants the girls to do. Faulkner now is going to drive. Picks it up, finds Viers across the bottom, and Viers will get it tipped away by Foster, looks like. And trying to regain possession, trailing here 42-19 with 4:40 remaining here in the third period. Andy O'Hara alongside Orion Lemler for the Triton Trojans Sports Network. Groves has got to get it inbound. Finds Faulkner alone in the corner for 3. Just short on the shot there. And Feldman's going to push it here and stop, and as Delanie Groves tries to come and force her to pick it up. Foster run over to Shively, back on to Rodriguez. Foster trying to use this 2-3 zone to see if they can make a stop here as Coffel with a head fake, dribbles to the foul line, finds her to Rodriguez. Feldman tipped away by Viers. Coffel now is going to shoot a 3. Got it. Erin Coffel with her third three ball of the night. Stretches our score now 45-19. Faulkner almost travels with it, tries to get away. Coffel tips it away, and Coffel will knock it out of bounds. So Triton will take a timeout there as Adam Heckaman tries to find something he can get these girls doing here as they only getting 3 points here after halftime. Of course, that coming from Delanie Groves. All right, timeout breaks from Triton, and they will inbound it here. Faulkner, the sophomore, will inbound it. See what they can do. Whytnie Miller will receive the inbound. Tries to work up past the official there. Tipped away by Foster. Whytnie Miller gets the ball, so she's going to try to put it on the floor. Drops to Hostrawser. Hostrawser alone in the paint, but Feldman closed on her quick, and ball go off on Vermillion. Will go out. Hostrawser had it for a second, hesitated, and gave enough time for Feldman to kind of stop in and shut that one off. Viers will get on the inbound, found it. Alyxa Viers with her first field goal of the season, and that brings Triton score 45-21. Shively find Vermillion, quick hitter over to Coffel. Foster with the up fake, drops it back for Coffel. Vermillion alone up. Never mind, going to give it to Shively. She's going to tip her 5th three-pointer. Off the side, no good. Whytnie Miller goes in for the rebound, and she'll get hit hard by Feldman. That foul will be on Karlee Feldman, her second personal. So Hostrawser inbound now to Faulkner. Triton trailing here. Delanie Groves tries to find Viers. Hostrawser in the corner, tries a deep two of her own. Found it. Like I said when we came out of halftime, give Groves and Hostrawser some time. They'll eventually find a way to score. 2-3 zone, or 3-2 zone rather, being put on by Triton. Trying to take away the 3 ball away from Bremen. Coffel over on the left side, drops it in to Feldman. Foster's going to try it through the top of the key. Back iron too strong. Feldman uses that length and puts it down. She lowers her shoulder and goes in. And Whytnie Miller now gets it after the rebound. Faulkner now with the basketball past the half-court line. She's going to dribble, splits the defenders. Finds Viers. Viers is going to try to put it on the baseline. Found a way in. Alyxa Viers now 4 points, 4 straight points for her. And Bremen calls a timeout. That'll be a full timeout for them. So Triton here on a little run here. 45-25 is our score as we go into timeout here. So one thing to keep an eye on, Triton has really started to really be real aggressive there. Alyxa Viers they're finding a way to get the ball down in the post. Viers is kind of showing off that experience and kind of finding some space against Feldman down there. So Triton now trailing by 20 now with 2:23 remaining here in the third period. See what Adam Heckaman has in store for here. Bremen, like we saw, we talked in the pregame, is a very potent offense, scoring over 60 in their first 2 contests of the season. And right now they're on their way. They're starting to stall here a little bit, but that's a true testament to this Trojan offense, or defense rather, as these girls do a very good job forcing turnovers. On the season, I marked it down. Triton has forced 32 turnovers at a rate of 10.7 a game. So the things that they do well, they do a real good job on defense. They do a good job slowing teams down, really just forcing them to play. They tried to do that against John Glenn. I mean, that game is kind of forget that game. That was kind of a wake-up game. When we weren't completely at full strength, we weren't against Argus and South Central. We kind of worked real well with those, and it was a narrow margin for those 2 games. So like I said, going forward, Triton's defense looked good in spots. But we'll see what Bremen does here as they'll get the inbound. On the floor for Bremen, we got Shively, Rodriguez, Foster, Coffel, and Vermillion. On the floor for Triton, we got Groves, Faulkner, Miller, Hostrawser, and Viers. Rodriguez into the corner to Shively. Shively's going to drive, drops it to Rodriguez, tries to free up Coffel. She's going to drive baseline, drops it over to Foster. Foster puts on the ground, dribbles in the paint, finds the spot, no too strong off the glass. Hostrawser back to Faulkner. They bring it up past the half court. She's going to try to drive around, finds Hostrawser. Hostrawser's going to post up for three. Got it! Lexia Hostrawser with a three ball of her own. 45-28 is our score. Like I said at halftime, give them time. Her and Delanie Groves will find a way to put it in the basket. Vermillion now with the basketball. Back on top to Rodriguez. They're going to kind of play keep away here a little bit. Foster now is going to try to work it past. Vermillion with it. Rodriguez trying to direct traffic. On over to Shively in the corner. She picks it, tries to drop it down, has an open Foster. Foster lost it with her look, and their ball's still free, and Viers comes away with it. Tries to drip it on over to Whytnie Miller. Now 2-on-1 fast break. Whytnie gets guarded by three players. And Viers is going to try to dive for the basketball, and she's going to get a foul there. Good hustle by her to try to attack to get the basketball there. Alyxa Viers with her second personal foul. That ball was kind of, as Whytnie Miller got triple teamed there, as she was on the fast break, Viers tried to come away with it and tried to fight her way to get a hold of the basketball. Good aggressive play by her to try to keep possession. Rodriguez now at the basketball and over to Vermillion, and Hostrawser got her hand in between there, and now they're going to get a foul on her. Hostrawser had her hand in between the ball. That'll be Lexia's third personal foul, team's third of the second half. Shively slaps the ball inbound from her. Foster with it, tipped by Faulkner. Faulkner's going to come away with it. Faulkner's going to be a 1-on-3 fast break, and she's going to try to stop mid-range jumper, finds it. Jaela Faulkner, 4 points tonight for her. Triton down by 15. 45 seconds remaining here in the third period. Rodriguez back to Coffel. Coffel on over to Vermillion. And now Viers is going to go in there, real aggressive against Shively. Shively very frustrated with that one. Alyxa Viers coming with her third personal foul. She's kind of coming in, just kind of playing, throwing their gameplay right back at them. Very physical defender, and she's kind of throwing it right back at him. Coffel now, 33 seconds, and she's going to go, and we're going to get a foul. Looks like on Hostrawser. And she'll draw the blocking foul. That's 4 on Lexia if it's on her. And it is. Lexia now with 4 personal fouls on the night. One more, and she will be done for the evening. Slapped away by Viers. Coffel is going to travel. She's going to take off before she put the ball on the ground. And that'll be a travel. So 26.2 remaining here in the third period. Andy O'Hara alongside Orion Lemler as Chelsea Johnson will come in for Hostrawser. She'll get a break with 4 fouls. Lexia Viers is going to send Whytnie Miller out to try to get some speed out there to help out. Faulkner now with the basketball. Jaela Faulkner is going to try to drive, try to go with it and trying to go up there, blocked by Coffel. Foster now is going to be on 2-on-2 fast break. Delanie Groves closing in on her fast. Shively tries to throw it up. Slapped away. Whytnie Miller now, 13 seconds, tries to dribble out of trouble. She finds some space here on the near side. She's trying to dribble right to left quickly. Whytnie Miller's going to stop with it. 5 seconds now. Delanie Groves. Faulkner. Faulkner's got to get it put up. Whytnie Miller alone in the corner for 3. Oh! Good look from Whytnie Miller. Got freed up. That's going to bring our third quarter score 45-30. We'll get ready for a good fourth quarter as Triton kind of came alive there with 14 points in that quarter. Of course, Lexia Hostrawser and Delanie Groves with points of their own. Faulkner finds her way in. And Alyxa Viers with 4 points of her own. Triton starting to come alive from several different players on that offense. So trailing by 15 here, Triton's definitely done a good job putting up points. The last 3 games they've scored over 30 points. And they're trying to drive in here. They're kind of on pace to put it up over for their season high on the season. If they continue with this trend that they've had in the second and third quarters, as we kind of saw them against South Central, they looked really good in the first quarter and then kind of slowed down there in the second quarter and putting 2 points up in that game. But Triton here tonight has found a way to score in the second and third quarters. As their first quarter, they only scored one basket here for 2 points. And Bremen only putting up a handful of points after halftime. Not too many. But Kaelyn Shively, 4 for 5 from three-point land. Still leading the way for them. And I believe Coffel has 11. 15. She's got 15. So Foster, Rodriguez, Coffel, Feldman and Shively on the court for the Bremen Lions. Faulkner, Groves, Miller, Johnson, and Viers on the floor for the Trojans. Coffel now back on over to Rodriguez. Trying to force a turnover here. Koffel's trying to drive, finds over. Shively's going to try her 6th three-pointer of the night. Too strong, rebound Feldman. Feldman comes back with it, too strong. Feldman tries to go back up, and they're going to call it an and one opportunity. So that'll be Chelsea Johnson's 3rd personal foul, team 6th. Triton's Bremen's one away from the bonus, and Feldman's 1-on-1 shot doesn't go. And now they're going to get that one on Viers. That'll be her 4th personal. One more, and she could be done for the night. In her first action of the season, she's got 4 points. So 2 shots now for Foster. Her first trip to the line, she was 2 for 2. And she continues that streak now, 3 for 3. Hostrawser will come in now for Chelsea Johnson. Hostrawser, remember, has 4 fouls of her own. Going to have to be smart and really try to keep away from that 5th foul as Foster's 2nd free throw goes in. They now lead 49-30 with 7:35 remaining in the ballgame. Faulkner picks up her dribble. On over to Whytnie Miller. Miller's going to try to put it on the floor. Tries to go over to Groves. And does. Finds Hostrawser. Hostrawser with a free throw shot. Eye off the glass, no good. Rebound by Shively. She's going to try to push it coast to coast. Finds Coffel. Coffel now is going to dribble out past 3-point line. Trying to move him here. Foster now on their left wing. On over to Shively. Drops down to Feldman. Too high. Came away with his Delanie Groves. The senior was in the right place, the right time to make that play. Triton trails by 19. Faulkner now on over to Delanie Groves. Looks for Viers alone in the paint. She's going to up fake over Feldman, and she'll go in. Banks it off the glass. Banks open for Alyxa Viers. 6 points in the night for her. Her first action in 2018. Drops it in. Coffel will get it off the pick and pop, and she'll go. Viers thought she had her feet set, and now she's done for the night. And I'll send Coffel to the line. 2 shots for her now. And Chelsea Johnson will force her to come back in. That's going to hurt Triton pretty good because Viers, 6 point of the night, her first action. There's a bright future ahead of the season for her, getting her first action. Coffel finds more success at the free throw line, 3 for 3. She awaits her 2nd attempt of this one, and it'll rattle out. Rebound. Johnson and Feldman are fighting it. And the 2 tallest players on either team. And Triton will come away with it now with Hostrawser inbounding to Faulkner. Triton trails 32-50 to the Bremen Lions. Faulkner with the basketball is going to try to work over here to the near side. Dribbles up, tries to work herself out of trouble. Tries to drop it over to Whytnie Miller in the corner. Miller tries to get it out, and Koffel's going to use the body, try to push against her. Coffel not happy about that one, her 2nd personal foul. Not judging what's on the scoreboard. Very physical game from both teams. Faulkner will inbound. Looking for Miller, finds her. Whytnie Miller saves it from going over the line. Groves now on over to Faulkner. Faulkner finds Hostrawser. Back to Delanie Groves. She spots for 3. Found it. Delanie Groves does a real good job hitting those catch and shoot threes, and now trying with another basket, trailing 15. Coffel trying to work against Faulkner. Cross court, Shively. Shively tries to drop it into Feldman. Feldman loses it for a second, but she'll use that size, and she'll get an and one opportunity. 15 points on the night for her. Hostrawser, that's her 5th personal, and she's done for the night. Triton has 2 players fouled out, and Taren Yates, the freshman, will come in for her. So Lexia Hostrawser will finish the night with 5 points coming in the 3rd quarter. So Triton trailing now by 52-45, and the next shot, that unwon opportunity kind of wasted by Feldman as Faulkner's going to try to dribble and try to go around, and she's going to get fouled, looks like by Vermillion. And that'll bring him to 16 fouls. Oh, now the 7 fouls. So Triton's now, both teams are in the bonus the rest of the way out. Faulkner now at the line for her one-on-one opportunity. Shot is up. Side, missed off. Feldman now with the rebound. The senior tries to use her size, works out of trouble, and she'll bring it up past the timeline, hands over to Coffel. Coffel now is going to try to dribble. Triton has a 3-2 zone, see if they can slow down the three-point attempts. Feldman drops to Rodriguez. She's going to try a contested three. Too strong, far iron. Vermillion for three. That one's going to be short. Coffel keeps it in possession, and they try to drop to Rodriguez, and she'll step out. Shively tried to drop it back to her. Had an opportunity for that one as Triton trails here 52-35. They're working. Faulkner now is going to try to dribble, getting double teamed here. Finds Delanie Groves. Groves is going to take it. Finds Yates. Yates will try a three. Got it. Taren Yates with her first points tonight may come from beyond the arc. The freshman's on the board. 52-38 is our score. 4:52 remaining. Shively alone in the corner for three. Back iron. Rebound Faulkner. The sophomore's got it. She's going to wait and kind of slow things down, see if she can let it kind of develop. Finds Delanie Groves. Delanie Groves will spot it for three. Banks too high. Chelsea Johnson tried to go around and reach around. Delanie Groves is going to get in and try to pull it away. Good aggressive play by Delanie Groves to get the possession now back towards Triton. And we'll get a timeout from, I believe, Bremen.
That's the way he threw his hand.
Well, that's the way he threw his hand. I didn't see it. I saw all the players kind of just disappear off the floor. So Triton with the three ball has been working well for them this game tonight with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girls hitting from the three-point line. Adam Heckaman letting them just kind of fire from three. The girls, you got to love the confidence by them. Right now, though they're down on the scoreboard as they trail by 14. Hey, I did math. Did you see that's 14? I got that right. My wife will check this and she'll see if I got it right on the fly. But Triton trails here by 14, but the three ball has been live, kind of keeping them in this game with 4.5, just over 4.5 remaining in the ball game. Triton, and one thing to be proud of is how these girls have competed. They're getting more confident in their shots. You like the aggressiveness by Hostrawser and Viers. Unfortunately, they're fouled out. But what those two have done is definitely some bright spots you're going to see, especially with a tough homestand against Plymouth, Wawasee, and Northwood. Three very talented basketball teams. They're not going to be an easy out by any means. On the floor for Bremen, we're going to have Shively, Coffel, Rodriguez, and Vermillion, along with Feldman, Johnson, Yates, Groves, Faulkner, and Whytnie Miller rounding out the 5 for the Lady Trojans as they trail here. Definitely giving Bremen a fight here in the second half. Vermillion with the basketball now, tries to go on over to Coffel, back on over to Shively. Shively's going to try to drive. Music has not been turned off yet. Vermillion still with the basketball. Well, they got her figured out. All right. Shively, down to Coffel in the left corner, too short, and it'll be tipped away by Feldman. Now she'll reach over with Whytnie Miller and tip it away, and that'll be Triton basketball. 52-38 is our score. And Triton here now with 4:08 remaining has the basketball. Jaela Faulkner, the sophomore, bring it past the half-court line, finds Delanie Groves. Groves back to Faulkner. Keep being aggressive on offense. They can make this interesting. Yates drops to Delanie Groves, who wasn't looking for the basketball. Right idea by Taren Yates. Saw the open Groves, and Delanie didn't quite catch it. Right idea. The girls are keeping their head up. Taren Yates, really like what I've seen so far from the freshman this season. Bright future ahead for that young lady. Feldman finds some space in the paint, goes up strong, and tries to come away with it. And Triton's going to not make it easy for her to go back. So Whytnie Miller will get her second personal, team's 10th. So now, rest of the way, Bremen will be in the double bonus. First shot is dead. Second shot will be live. Rattles in for Feldman. That's her 4th free throw of the night. She's missed a few. Her 2nd shot from the charity stripe is up, and it finds the bottom of the net for her 5th free throw of the night. Whytnie Miller quick end. Faulkner now 3, over 3.5 remaining. Faulkner now is going to try to dribble. Finds Yates. Yates is looking around. Finds Faulkner. Faulkner tries to dribble out of trouble. Finds Yates. Taren Yates will take a deep 2 of her own. That'll be short. Delanie goes with the rebound. Groves drizzles herself into the corner. Has to get it away, and it'll go off the foot of Rodriguez. Delanie drawed the defender with her. Had the right idea to dribble out of trouble. The senior trying to find some space out there. Whytnie Miller will get it up. Now top of the key, 3:14 remaining. Finds Taren Yates. Taren Yates trying to look over for Whytnie Miller. Chelsea Johnson was open in the middle for just a moment. Shively tries to tip it away. And Chelsea Johnson will step on the baseline.
Back the other way, bud.
And that'll be a Triton turnover. Rodriguez will pick it up, and here we go. Rodriguez with it now on over to Vermillion. Back over to her. Drops it over to Shively. Shively quickly picked up by Johnson. 2 tips it away. Almost comes away with it. Looked like Feldman shoved her to the ground. No call. Shively back to Rodriguez. 2:45 remaining. Rodriguez tries to get out of trouble. Finds Shively. Shively's going to try to drive. She picks it up. Rodriguez will try a corner 3, and it'll go in. Contested 3 by Rodriguez. She finds her 6th point of the night, and both field goals, both coming from 3-point land. Faulkner out the basketball is going to try to dribble out of trouble. Down to Miller, and the ball will be thrown away. And Bremen will take over now, leading 57-38 here. Triton with scoring the most points they have on the season right now with 38 points. Still on pace to take it over 40 on the night. I don't think they're done yet. Rodriguez on over to Shively. Shively tries to dribble out of the double team, or pass to the double team. Pass to Feldman was no good. Vermillion over to Shively for the assist. Shively now 5 3-pointers of the night for her on the assist from Vermillion. Ball goes off the foot of Coffel, and Emma Hepler will check in for Taren Yates. Taren Yates doing a very good job tonight checking in for Bremen. We have Paige Thompson, good 3-point shooter of her own. As Emma Hepler now with the basketball. On over to Delanie Groves. The key in and watch, Feldman's kind of leaving players open. Whytnie Miller for 3. It'll go off the top of the basket. Good look for Whytnie. Right idea. Duran and Foster will check in. And Feldman will come off. And Coffel will take a seat. That'll be the last we see of them of tonight. On the floor for Bremen, we have Shively, Foster, Thompson, Vermillion, and Duran. On the floor for our Trojans, we have Faulkner, Groves, Hepler, Johnson, and Whytnie Miller. Rounding out the 5 for us. Thompson now over the far side. Tries to find space for Foster. Minute 22 remaining in the ballgame. Tipped by Faulkner. She takes it away. Faulkner's going to try to dribble out of trouble. It's a 2-on-2 fast break. She stops. Pops for 2. Rattles in. Banks open for Jaela Faulkner. 6 points a night for her. 60-40 is our score. Bremen, 3 straight games of 60-plus points. Vermillion with it up top. Minute remaining in the ballgame. Delanie Groves trying to come in, trying to force some action, being a little aggressive on defense. Traps her over in the corner. Foster tries to save it, and Jaela Faulkner takes it away. 2-on-1 fast break. Faulkner's going to go for the bank. Shot, no good. Rebound, Delanie Groves. Groves is going to try to dribble out of trouble. 44 seconds remaining. Tries to send it away, but not strong enough. And Delanie Groves will step in and draw the foul. And that'll send Bremen to the line for 2 shots. That'll be Vermillion. She'll head there. No points in the night for her. This will be her first trip to the free throw line. As Triton tonight, you got to be proud of how they competed on offense. Yeah, Bremen's a tough team, but they were definitely finding some spaces and really working good as Vermillion's first shot is no good. But Triton tonight has really improved on the offensive side of the ball. They're scoring more points. They're finding more scoring options. So the thing that Adam Heckaman talked about is finding scoring options. Triton is definitely doing that. Shively with the rebound. Tries to get it. Foster now 34 seconds. Vermillion might play keep away here and try to hold for the final shot. Triton's going to try to force him here to get another point on the board. Emma Hepler's going to try to force Shively. The senior's got it. Shively's going to try to dribble out of trouble. Drops it back over to Vermillion. 16 seconds now. Foster comes out to the basketball. Delanie Groves definitely fighting for the basketball. And now they call a foul on her. And that'll send Vermillion back to the line 0 for 2 in her first trip. See what they do here. As Triton will fall on this one, it was a hard-fought effort. Don't let it fool you. 40 points as Vermillion finds her first points, 1 of 3 on the night from the free throw line. Her second shot is up. Back iron, too strong. Faulkner with the rebound. 10 seconds now. We'll see if Triton forces it here. Faulkner's going to try to get around Vermillion. She's going to try to dribble past Duran. On over to Groves, but tipped away by Foster. Triton will get a one last shot here with 3.3 remaining. Triton now scored the second most points on Bremen on the season. Them and Tibby Valley have scored on them. On over to Hepler. Hepler's going to try to stop. Johnson at the buzzer for 2. Rattles out. And that'll bring our final score 61 to 40. Triton falls here. All right, unofficial scoring now tonight for the Bremen Lions as they win here 61-40 on their home court. Leading the way at all scores was Karlee Feldman with 17. Kaelyn Shively with 5 3-pointers with 15 points for her tonight. Erin Coffel with 14 players in double figures tonight for the Bremen Lions. 8 points for Foster, 6 points for Rodriguez, and 1 point on the night for Bailey Vermillion. Leading the way for the Lady Trojans was Whytnie Miller with 8 points in the first half. 6 points by Faulkner and Delanie Groves. 5 points all for Hostrawser and Emma Hepler. And Chelsea Johnson had 2. Alyxa Viers had 6 points on the night. I forgot her. And Taren Yates with 3 points of her own. The freshman finds a way, and that'll bring our score 61-40. As we kind of wait here, we'll see if we get an interview at the post game with either the head coach or we'll try to get try to get one of the players. Welcome back, Trojans fans. Andy O'Hara alongside head coach Adam Heckaman. Coach, it was a tough-fought match tonight. I mean, a team that scored over 60 points on their first 3 games of the season, but what the girls did tonight as far as the offensive side, there was a lot of scoring was kind of divvied out with the girls there in the second half.
Yeah, second half we played pretty well. We talked in the locker room afterwards about we need to relax earlier. We come out too nervous in these games so far, unsure of ourselves, and we just don't do the things that we talk about in practice early on, and then when we get down by a considerable margin, we relax and play. In the third quarter, we didn't do anything different for the most part in the third quarter than we did in the first quarter. We just took care of the ball and played like we wanted to from the beginning. I mean, I know with this stuff, with this tough stretch as far as the games going in the early part of the season, the girls are seeming to really start to kind of find their groove, especially that, like I said, the confidence kind of comes in that second half and they kind of get down a little bit. But as far as the defensive side, they were forcing turnovers through the game. It's just on the other side, it looked like they were having a hard time on the other end there as they kind of got going. We were struggling early offensively, and sometimes that leads to bad decisions and easier points for the other team, and that's kind of where they jumped on us early. Bremen shot the ball really well too. We worked on trying to get out and contest their threes and also try to take away Feldman because she's a load down there. I mean, she's a good player. She is. And you got to respect that first because that's 3-4 feet from the basket where everybody else is 20 feet out there. But we did okay. There's things we got to get better at, and the offensive end is where if we can get a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more confidence early on, then I think our defense will even look better. And the bench play with some of the girls, I mean, seeing Alyxa Viers with her first matchup tonight, I mean, yeah, she kind of fouled out, but she looked real good on defense there in the second half. She was definitely a force down low as she got those 3 straight baskets. But kind of going forward off your bench production here, are you kind of happy with what you're getting with your girls off the bench? Yeah, we're still, we tell the girls we're still sorting through, trying to figure out who's going to be that player each night that's going to bring a little energy. And that person's probably going to get some extra time each night, and we're glad to have Alyxa back. She brings a lot of that energy. She gets in there. She's not afraid to mix it up, go in there toe-to-toe with the other player's biggest person, the other team's biggest player, and she'll get in there and she'll use her body. And she did a really good job of that there in the third quarter, got a few buckets for us. And like you said, she fouled out. She's not afraid to be aggressive. hopefully we can keep her on the floor a little bit longer next game without fouling out, her and Lexia both. But yeah, it's nice to be able to throw some kids in there and see what they can give us and try to find the lineup that sticks for that night. And
the girls, like I said, they're starting to find that, starting to gel just a little bit. I mean, once it kind of goes forward. Now you got a tough 3-game homestand against some pretty tough NLC competition. What kind of things are you guys going to kind of prepare for as you go into that 3-game home stretch before your tournament?
We got to make better decisions with our passes at the beginning of the game. We've fed them too many easy buckets early on that got them that lead. And it's going to be the same thing with the teams we play in the NLC there. Plymouth is going to bring some really good defense. The fortunate thing, we played a lot of teams. We played a lot of different defenses. We've had a lot of defensive played against us so far, with South Central playing a 1-3-1, Argus playing a 2-3, tonight playing an extended 2-3 trap. We've seen switching man-to-man. So Plymouth might throw something slightly different at it, but it's going to be similar to something we've seen. So we can start hopefully getting a little bit more comfortable seeing what the other team's doing and realizing it quick enough to adjust.
And one thing, like I talked in football with Coach Brown, as far as facing some tough competition, going in towards your end of the season, then we start facing some of the HNAC opponents. These games here are really going to prepare those girls as far as like the iron sharpening, the girls that playing good competition like this going forward to just make them stronger as they go forward.
Yeah, that's always a goal, is to play some good teams and try to learn some things quickly early on in the season, because good teams will expose stuff. And this stretch definitely does that for us. Bremen, they're going to be a really good team this year. They're going to get a lot of wins. Then you follow that up with Plymouth, Wallacey, and Northwood, who are always towards the top of that NLC, at least 2 of those 3. And it's going to make us better. And we're going to have to learn in order to be able to compete in the HNAC this year with like Knox and North Judson, because they have some pretty solid teams this year.
So we'll wrap it up with that. Triton falls here at Bremen, and then we'll see you on Thursday night as we host Plymouth for the Triton Trojan Sports Network.